In this video I'm going to show you how to UK dubstep. So dubstep, or 140 as it's known as in the UK, is an underground dark genre of music, and we're going to go through how to make a complete track. So first, let's set our BPM. So it's in the name, you're going to select 140 BPM. Now you can go higher than this, you could go all the way up to 150 if you want, if you're feeling kind of crazy, but for this video let's just stick with 140. Now let's look at the drums. So setting up the drums is actually really simple. You're going to put the kick drum here on the first beat, and then you're going to put your clap slash snare slash whatever you've layered it with on the third beat here. So we've got 4 beats, and then what we can do is just grab all that and press Ctrl D and copy it across. And then all we're going to do is move this kick drum across 1 beat, and we should have something that sounds like this. Now, this is the most simple way of doing a drum melody, but we're going to switch it up in this track. So I'm going to move this kick drum here, and then I'm going to duplicate the kick drums like that, and we're going to get this different pattern. So let's listen now. This is like a pre-shifted effects that makes the second clap sound more impactful. So once you've completed step 1 of the drums, which is getting your kick and snare slash clap sounding fat, you need to add percussion to add the movement. And you can do this by using hi-hats and different perk sounds. What I've done here is added a basic hi-hat here, and then layered it with another hi-hat, and then another hi-hat, and then more hi-hats to add even more swing. And there you have the percussion. But we can take it even further than that. So that's what it sounds like at the moment. So feel free to copy this or come up with your own rhythms with the hi-hats. But then we can take it even further than that. We could add more percussion elements. So another hi-hat here, which sounds like this. And then we've got this cymbal here, which sounds like this. And then we've got also this drum element here. So depending on your track, you can add all these different elements in and get it to sound fat. Or another great thing you can do is add a few of these in, and then 8 bars later, add a few more in. 8 bars later after that, add a few more in. So I might add, say, these first hat elements here in the first 8 bars, second 8 bars, introduce these elements on top. Next 8 bars, introduce maybe some more perks, maybe some different types of perks like bongos, for example. Keep it interesting. And then at the 8 bars of your section, you can add little drum fills, like we've got this bongo here. And then at the end of the 16 bars, you can add drum fills as well. I just want to take a quick pause in the video. If you're into your producing but want to take it to the next level, I have got a free music production workshop down below, completely free. All you need to do is click the link, sign up, and then you can watch it and work through it, and you'll learn a lot on top of this video as well. Let's get straight back into the video. Next, we're going to look at the bass. So once you've got your drums down and you're working on a drop, what I recommend you do is highlight the first 4 bars, do Ctrl L to loop it, and then just work on these 4 bars. So you've got bar 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you could try the A, B, A, C method, or you can just try an A and then whatever goes next, which is sort of what I've done here. And then once you've created the drop, you can then duplicate it and then add variation, which is what I've done here, varied the bass. So let's take a look at each bass. So bass 1. So this sound is actually really simple. It's just a basic shapes with a filter on it. And then we've got some distortion, some hyper, and a little bit of compression on as well. And then we've got these plugins along here if you want to copy these. So essentially what you're doing is creating the original bass line and then using different plugins to emphasize the best parts of that sound. And then we've also EQ'd out the low end and added in a sub below, which is just a very basic sub that sounds like this. And there we go. And then we've put our sidechain, which is just a kickstart 2, on the responsive mode. So if you don't know how to do that, check out my sidechain video on kickstart 2. I'll leave a link here. And then this will duck every time the kick drum hits and make it sound really, really good. So that's the first bar done. And then we come and hit in with this crazy bass, which hits when the snare hits to give it more impact. And you can see that this bass, again, doesn't have much post-processing on. A lot of that is muted, and it's just another really simple bass. This one is available on my website as well. It's just two basic shapes together, and then we've got some FM synthesis coming from B, and then the level turned up and turned off on this one, and then some noise on top of it, and the PP from Multi, PP12. And then we've got some distortion on diode 1, and we're actually using this post thing here on this setting, and then compression, multiband compression, and a filter on multi LH6. And all this just combines together with some chorus as well on 21% to give this really disgusting fuzzy sound. And then we just whack a sub bass underneath with the famous sub designer. If you watch my videos a lot, you'll know this sub designer, which is just drawn through this to make it even fatter than just a basic sine shape. So what we've done is we've got one bar of this, one bar of this, another bar of this, and then we kind of switch it up for the fourth bar by adding in a wobble. So all we've done is just wobbled the sound here with a LFO2 tool and on the level, and you can see it wobbles slightly. And then we've got this third bass to add a little bit of variation so it doesn't all sound the same, which again is just another style of bass sound similar to this with just a little bit of variation. So you'll see here we've done some slightly different things, but it has the same principle behind it. And then the variation is literally just everything duplicated, but I've then gone and changed this bass ever so slightly to get it to sound a bit deeper. And the way I've done that is by putting this side to +7. So the note is currently D, and it's still D. It's exactly the same, I've just put +7. And I've put the octave down 1 as well. So it's now 0 +7 to give it a deeper sound, whereas before it was just 1. So the melody as well for this is very simple. It's just D, F, E, and then it goes back down to D. We keep this melody as simple as possible, just focusing more on the sounds of the basses for this. And then for the rest of the drop, what I normally do is I'll have another 8 bars similar or the same as the first 8 bars, and then we'll come in with some variation and then some more variation. And if you want to hear the whole track, I've got a link to the Spotify below. It is released. It's called Dialed. And then we've got a little bit more variation of bass down here as well, which is just a sample, and then we've made it into like a reverse style to help with the transition. Now let's look at the intro and build. So for the intro, for the drums, you basically just want to take all the hi-hats you made in the drop drums and bring them into the intro, and you should get something that sounds like this. And then as the tune progresses, each 8 bars, you can add more elements, take elements away, and then when the build-up comes in, you want to start introducing build-up elements like a kick drum, so like this, and then some sort of snare build-up in the background. And then you can do little automation tweaks to these. So you could grab like a EQ8 and then use automation on the channel. Like here, you can see there's automation going on just to either increase or decrease the volume of something, and just to give it that vibe that the track is moving forward. I recommend using a lot of automation throughout your tracks to get it to that next level. So let's just listen to what this sounds like. And then the pre-drop is always 1 bar before. So that's where a vocal sample or a drum loop or something is going to come in, and then the drop is going to hit. So let's look at the synth. So UK dubstep or 140 is normally quite dark music. So you're going to want a lot of Atmos, respacers, effects, just little like eerie instruments that add to it. So I'm just going to go through all these one by one and show you what we added in. So we've got like a wind sound here, and then we've got like a weird vocal kind of tribally sound, and everything is keeping in the key of D minor. So we're playing it in D here. So we've gone through various serum packs and found these cool effects. And like a string. And then obviously if you're using other Rompler style synths like Nexus 4, you can find a lot of stuff in this as well. Tension string. And then some weird eerie background Atmos sounds. And then bells. This is kind of like a respace mixed with an ARP all in one. Really cool synth this is. Now this one wasn't made by me, this is from a sample pack. So you've got the ARP on this channel and then the respace on this channel. Really cool synth. And then we've got like a guitar that comes in here after 8 bars. And then another sound that comes in after another 8 bars. And altogether you get something like that. So let's look at the basses. So we've added some more basses here in the build up. And this is just the main bass, but it's super quiet and in the background. And then right before the drop, we added in this really cool vocal sample. So basically for this kind of music, you want to find something outrageous before the drop. So either like a vocal sample like this.
The number you have dialed is not available.
And then it goes into the drop. Or you can find some like other kind of spoken word sample. Or you don't even need a sample. You could just like have like a vocal one shot that goes like, so for example, further on, we've got this little sound here. You just gotta do whatever feels right for your track. And we've also got this breath sound here that's got a lot of different delay on it. That sounds pretty cool. It kind of adds to that dark vibe. And then finally to finish, we have lots of different effects throughout the track. And what I recommend you do is have sweeps throughout your track. So risers, down filters, risers, down filters, risers up to your drop and then cut out in the pre-drop. And then just keep these going throughout. And then you can add other samples in like rain to give more depth to your track. And then further down here, we've gone a little bit crazy and just added lots of different elements and kept it interesting. So you got like one-shot effects in the first drop and then new one-shot effects in the second drop. And then loads of different cool sounds for the intro as well. I have got a little secret about this track. It was originally made in 150. So me and K Junto, the person I made it with, one of those crazy people who didn't quite follow the rules, we made it a little bit faster than normal. So let's hear what it sounds like in the end. Let me play a clip for you. And then if you want to listen to the full track, it's on Spotify.
Is not available.
Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. Let me know in the comments what kind of videos you'd like to see from me in the future, and I'll see you all in the next one.